there's only 5 ways you can get more customers. Number 1 is you reach out to people privately. So you cold call, cold DM, cold email, whatever, right? The next one is that you make content that attracts people to you. They find your stuff, they discover it, right? The third is that you run paid ads, right? And then the fourth is that you get affiliates and partners who are other businesses who serve people like your customers and refer them to you. And then finally, customers tell other customers.
Yes.
So here's what's interesting is that if you think about when we talked about leverage, so this is going to come full circle, which is great. The first 4 that I discussed they are linear in nature, meaning if I make 10 more dials, I can predict how many customers I'm going to get from that, 10 more reach outs, or I spend $10 more on ads, or I make another piece of content. It's relatively predictable in terms of what's going to come back. It is a linear equation. You add more in, you get more out. With a quadratic equation, you get an exponential. And unfortunately, in the entrepreneurial space, people are like, exponential. They say it a lot, but they don't know what it means. It really just means it multiplies, which is not what exponential is. But with a referral or a customer telling another customer, 1 person tells 2, 2 tell 4, 4 tell 8. And so one of the difficulties that I see a lot of businesses get into is they get to 3 million or they get to 10 million or they get to 30 million, especially like consumer products. There are constants in business. One is that the cost of acquiring a customer will go up over time because impressions will cost more money and you'll have more operational drag on your business. And so if those 2 are constants, then you have to have an opposing force that cannot be linear in nature that's going to contradict that. And so if you are in a consumer-based business, the only one that can counteract a one-way direction of increasing cost of impressions and infrastructure is the decreasing cost of acquisition, because every time you get a customer, that customer brings you 2 more customers.
Yes.
And so that is like the great equalizer in business. And I had a firsthand experience with this recently with the book, the Offers book, because I made 1 post about it, and I didn't have a following a year, 2 years, whenever I put it was a year ago. And that book, from what I understand, has sold more than New York Times bestsellers. I just didn't do the politics thing. But right now it's sold over 200,000 copies in the first year. And I have no paid ads. I have no anything. It was just because people were like, dude, you should check this book out.
Yeah.
And so I say that to say, like, if you nail that piece, everything else gets easier, and it's much harder. It's easier to market and make money in the beginning and then harder to fix it once you have a bad product. The reverse is also true, is that it's harder to spend more time in the beginning fixing the product, but then when you scale, it's easier. And so the question is whether you want it to be hard to break through, and this may not be real for some of you, but like once you get to a $10 million enterprise, like it gets very difficult to break through that barrier if the product's not that good.
That's right.
And it's much harder to take the time and effort to fix the product. And I'm going to do a quick segue here because this happens all the time. So this is just at least our experience with the portfolio companies we have. What got you to 1 or 3 million is not necessarily what gets you to 10 million and 30 million, because in the beginning you need to sell something to someone. That you have to promote it. You have to promote the stuff you have, otherwise no one knows about you and you're obscure. And so people have to buy it. Where people make the mistake is that they get this positive reinforcement from the fact that they marketed and sold and think, I need to do more of that. And I'm going to say, yes, you will, but just not at this moment. Because at this point is actually a pause point. And the goal is not to even necessarily make tons of profit at this point. The goal is to fix the product such that you start to generate a significant amount of business from referrals. Until that occurs, there's no point in adding more gas to the acquisition engine, because you're basically just setting yourself up for failure at a later point that will then reach a point of equilibrium where the only way to grow is to sell more people. And at some point you will run out of people to sell depending on the niche that you're going after. And so the idea is to actually alternate. So you focus on the acquisition in the beginning. You get we always say 1 product, 1 avatar, 1 channel. That's what you have to do to get to 1 to 3 million. And so at that point, then you fix the product. And if you fix the product, you will sneeze your way to 10 million without doing anything else. And then once you're at 10, if you have fixed the product and the customer experience such that you have a large percentage of your business come from word of mouth, now you've extended the LTV of the customer, you have increased gross profit per customer that you can now spend profitably and outcompete everyone else who just wanted to bulldoze their way to 10 million with a lower LTV. And then you can go crush them on every other channel that they're on. And then you go back and say, hey, we're going to build a cold email team. Hey, we're going to build a cold call team. Hey, we're going to build a paid ads team. Hey, we're going to build affiliate partners and channel partners. And you can do that because you have so much fucking extra profit per customer because you spent the time up front to fix it and make it good. And you'll sleep better at night.
And you've got proof of concept. So you just scale the crap out of it.